so far we talked about the neuron, and we compare it to an electrical cord, right? And we say that the neuron needs to have an insulation that is made up of fat. Yeah? Now, what I want to talk about is what happened to babies. Have you heard that one thing you should avoid babies having is a fat-free diet? Yeah? And why? Because there is a funny thing that happened in nature that actually create a problem in human. Let's take the human skeleton, and especially the hip. On animals that walk on four, let's say chimpanzees or gorillas, the hip is a lot wider. And you see when they're walking shifting from side to side. And it's great for walking on four. Now, if you want to walk on two, you need to narrow the hip. Yeah, does it make sense? So you see that the hip is narrow, and this area, this is the birth canal. This is the place where the babies descend from the abdomen to the hip during childbirth. So the hip, human hip, is a lot narrower. However, the human brain is getting bigger through evolution. Do you see the conflict? Yeah? So what happened is that when I told you that we have an insulation that's made up of fat, this insulation, a lot of it happened after childbirth. So actually when we're born half cooked. We're not born completely cooked. And you can see in nature how a giraffe baby, after a few hours, start walking. After 1 year, it's kind of mature. Humans are different. It takes 1 year to just learn how to walk. It takes long time to speak, long time to know how to behave, long time to become adult. So one of the reasons is that we're born without the insulation of the fat. Yeah? So you see babies, miscoordination. They don't have good coordination. Everything is half cooked. Why? Because if we wait to a full development of the brain, we're not going to get fit into that birth canal because it's too big. The head is too big. So that's why fat is important for children, babies, cholesterol, until I think the age of 11 or teenage. It's very important to have the right fat, the right amount of fat. Not too much, but definitely we need that. So this is about babies. But what I want also to remind you, do you remember the bones in the skull? Yeah? And do you remember that they have a suture there? They're having... so if anyone looked at baby's head when they're born, a lot of them are pointy. So what happened, imagine that this is one parietal bone, and this is another one. This is the top of the head here. So when the baby's head going in, they squashed and they squeeze the head enough to be born, and then after that they slowly bring back to its place, and then they ossify, they become calciums. Only after there is enough growth in the human brain, yeah? So, because really in babies, the biggest organ in the body is the brain, is the skull. You see babies, like half of the body is the brain, and that's even not enough. So just remember, we're half cooked. We're born half cooked. Takes, I don't know, the age of 50 to get matured. Maybe we never. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thank you.